Hello, and welcome to this video that will highlight a few points of interest on the New York City Planning website. So first, get into the website there. Okay, and the first resource we're going to look at is located under Data and Maps. We're going to click on Decennial Census in the sidebar, Historical Population Information, and in Tables here. So we have this New York City total and foreign-born population 1790 to 2000. So this table is can be an interesting resource for comparison, so you can see how the numbers have changed. It also serves to illustrate how information recorded in the census has changed over time by taking note of notes like these at the bottom saying that in the 1950s they only counted foreign-born whites in the census. So if you return back to the historical population information page and scroll down to charts, you'll see we have the same information that was in that table represented in a chart. So you can see the trends better, and you can also see this big jump in 1898 where it also notes that that was the year New York City expanded to encompass its current geographic boundaries. So moving back, you can see that there are other tables of good information up here in tables from 1900 to 2010. And then if you come to this map section here, there's a really neat time series map that shows 1910 to 2010 Hispanic settlement patterns. So if you click down on that, it gives you this great map and it shows you what year you're in. So right now we're in 1980, but you have, it shows the key here, one dot is 50 people, it shows total population and the percent. And if you, it'll carousel through automatically, but if you click on the arrows in either direction, you can go through so you can see how the population has grown and dispersed between 1910 and 2010. So within 100 years, what a change there was. Another interesting resource is this on the sidebar, American Community Survey. There's a document, well, two documents that that explain the survey, but basically the American Community Survey, unlike the decennial census, is a continuous survey. So whereas the census will gather information from a specific point in time, the survey provides a better average of information. And then as you can see under maps here, they have things broken down into categories like let's say persons of Russian ancestry, and if you open up the PDF, it gives you this nice little map between 2009 and 2013, how many and where they are. And if you go back, you also, there are also other types of maps, economic, housing, so say you clicked on persons below poverty. You can see the map depicting that, and you can maybe see how much overlap there is between something like persons of Russian ancestry and persons below poverty, and you can start to put information together that way. Okay, so moving along to the Population Fact Finder over here. This is a cool tool because you can search for information using the search bar, or you can just click on any tract of land here, and you can view the profile of that tract. And it pulls all the information up. You can see numbers, age, sex distribution, in demographics, and it gives you social and economic and housing and all of that. So it gives you really specific information on separate tracts of land. And it's pretty recent, so 2012 to 2016, and you can also view change over time if you click in here. So if we move it back, we're going to move along to current and projected populations, and this covers what the projected estimates for the results of the July 2017 census were, and it also gives this projecting the future. It gives projections up to 2040. So that's cool to check out as well. And then there's this visualizing NYC area. This section is great because it has all of these interactive resources. So you have here, there's characteristics of migrants. And if you click on that, it shows you, the key up here, gives you information. So right now we're looking at age. And it gives, 65 and above is the last age here. And if you scroll over, it'll hone in on those, on that age range. And you also have race and Hispanic origin, marital status, all sorts of things. And if you just scroll over, it highlights those areas that you're looking at and shows you trends and explains information. So that's a really great tool, as well as this mapping language interactive map. Again, it just shows so population 5 years and over that speaks Spanish at home. And if you roll over a tract of land, it'll give you specific information on that tract. And then you can also select language. So right now it's Spanish, but there's also Chinese, Russian, French, Creole, Yiddish, French, and Italian. So that's a neat tool as well. And then if you head over to, we're going to skip down to this data background and archive section, and it's just that it gives information on what the data on the site is. So it talks about the American Community Survey, population estimates, etc. And it also gives you access to some archived content. And lastly, we're going to just head back to this New York City population page and scroll down to get all population facts. And this is just a fun little list of some interesting facts. So you have some things like New York City has the largest Chinese population of any city outside of Asia. So these are just some cool facts that you can reference and maybe get some ideas from and things like that. So these are just a few points of interest on the New York City planning site. As you can see, I've only grazed the surface without getting into any of the other categories here. This is just, population right now. So really take some time to explore the resources and the ways in which you can use them, because there's a ton of really fantastic information on here that you can put together in any number of ways. So check it out and see what you can do.